Hello everyone, welcome back to Super Guy Boy Show, and today we are back with another Dragon Ball topical video, looking at my favorite minor villains from Dragon Ball, the Ginyu Force. Now, I love the Ginyu Force. They're easily my favorite part out of the Frieza saga. Yes, I like their section way more than the Goku versus Frieza section. I'm sorry for that hot take. You can disagree with me all you want. I don't care, because for this video, I'm going to be looking at why they work as great villains, why they're great characters, and why overall it's one of the best things that Toriyama has ever written. And today, this is the video all for it. So let's get right down to it. The first thing I want to discuss about what makes the Ginyu Force work is how brilliant of an introduction Toriyama did for them. This has to be one of the best written jokes that Toriyama has ever done. In the last 10 episodes, they built up the Ginyu Force as these terrifying foes that even Vegeta is scared of. Vegeta is scared of them to the point where he is forced to ally with both Krillin and Gohan. That's how scared he is. There's so much built up into how terrifying these guys are gonna be up until they finally are introduced, which Toriyama brilliantly shows their wacky personalities by having them do funny, outlandish poses with calling out their names, with the Japanese score adding in this terrifying track to completely contrast of what they're doing. It's so outlandish and hilarious at the same time that when I was first time watching it, I was just laughing my ass off of just how funny this introduction is. It's one of the best jokes that Toriyama has ever played because it completely subverts your expectations. Because of the fact that Toriyama has built up these guys to be a threat, showing them as these goofy comedic characters completely contrasts from what we've been shown. It works so well. Where do I even begin with the Ginyu Force? How about let's start with how all of their personalities mix so well, because the Ginyu Force feel less like antagonists and more like a group of friends that just so happen to be the villains. That's what makes them so funny to watch. That's what I love about them, because it gives them actual personality compared to the other antagonists that Toriyama is sometimes not that great with. He's a bit hit or miss with some of his minor antagonists in other arcs. I mean, Tambourine was a goated villain because he was literally fucking King Von in the flesh. Raditz was pretty goated, but I'm talking about some lame ones. Like, who the fuck remembers Symbol? That's what makes these characters so good, is how funny and unique each of their personalities just are. I love Burter and Jace's tag team fight against Goku, showing how close they are as friends. And I love the fact that Goldo is kind of like the loser of the team, that even Gohan and Krillin don't even feel threatened of. He's quite literally the butt of the joke that everyone in the Force just kind of like tolerates. I love the fact that Raccoon is kind of like this dumbass who's very threatening. He's not supposed to be like the archetype of the big strong guy, but I'm a bit conflicted on which version I like, whether it be the sub with his way more subdued and way more subtle take on his voice. He's actually a lot more threatening in the sub, and I actually really love the performance in the Japanese sub. However, in the English dub, they portray him more as this dumb musclehead type of character with a really goofy voice. However, I actually do like the way he's portrayed in the dub, and I like the running joke that he comes up with these dumb, outlandish names. I don't know which interpretation I like of Raccoon. Both of them are good in their own ways, but it doesn't matter, because Raccoon is also a really fun character as well. I really love the scene when Goldo's fighting Krillin and Gohan, and they're all betting on how long it will take for him to finish them off using chocolate bars. I mean, it's like that classic Toriyama humor of like turning a serious moment into something that's funny. But do not get me started on Captain Ginyu. I'ma just say it, Captain Ginyu is in my top 10 favorite Dragon Ball characters, just period. I love Captain Ginyu. He's goofy, he's funny. I love the fact that he's willing to do all these wacky and weird poses that even weirds out Frieza. Easily one of my favorite moments from the Frieza saga in general is the scene where he does the Dance of Joy and it's completely quiet and it's just him doing these weird motions while Frieza's just completely just weirded out by it.
Ginyu, if you value your life, stop.
Oh,
Yes, Lord.
I love his voice in the English dub, where he's given a very like drill sergeant voice, but he also still has that really goofy demeanor. I love the performance he gives. I actually am not that big of a fan of the Dragon Ball Kai's take on the Ginyu Force. I'm not the biggest fan of their voices. To me, the English dub handles this great balance of giving them very great, cartoonishly exaggerated voices that gives them both very distinct personalities. I actually love the English dub's take on it compared to the Kai dub, which I feel like doesn't hit the same vibe that the Funimation dub is able to scratch for me. But no, I love Captain Ginyu. I love the fact that he's so obsessed with his poses. I love the fact that he kind of treats Jace like complete shit for no reason. He's just a really fun, entertaining antagonist that kind of breaks up the monotony out of what we had just seen from the entirety of the Frieza saga to that point. While I do like Zarbon and Midoriya as villains, to me, the Ginyu Force does a great job at just breaking it up, being more of a great like refresher during this very serious arc. You know, adding in some gags and stuff like that. It's just a great refreshing start to the Frieza saga in general that I love. Not to mention the fights within this section. I love the fights. This has some of my favorite fights in the series. Let's talk about Goldo's fight. I love the fact that Goldo is so pathetic that he's even losing at his own fight. It's really funny. I also love this line in the dub where he's getting a lot of ki blasts at him, and there's a moment where he's like, hey, wait a minute, guys, and they're still shooting at him. It's such a funny moment. I think what makes this fight way more better than in the manga is that they changed the way his time stop works. In the manga, it's a lot less funny, because in the manga, they say that he runs out of time during his time stop because he doesn't have enough ki. In the anime, however, they change it to the fact that he has to hold his breath while in time stop. In my opinion, that's way more better and is way more funnier and adds to the comedy of his character that he's literally a joke. Also, the moment when Vegeta just decapitates him, completely switching the tonal shift of the entire fight. It's such a great way of, again, like switching up the tones in a very perfect, balanced way that only Toriyama was able to hit. Another great fight within this section is the Raccoon fight, which I love that fight so much that I actually did a YouTube shorts on it that y'all should check out. You know, I love the Raccoon fight for many reasons. Raccoon's weird and oddball personality, the Vegeta section of the fight, which is really fun, very like crazy, destructive, that doesn't feel like it goes on way too long compared to like the Frieza versus Goku fight or other fights way later on, like in the Cell saga and shit like that. It's perfectly paced and doesn't go on for way too long. Also, the Gohan section, really good. Easily one of those moments where you can tell that Toriyama is just cooking with character development as compared to him during the fight with Nappa and him taking on a way more larger opponent that he knows he's kind of way far from his league, but he's still gonna do it because he's that determined. Again, one of those reasons why I love this section. It's just great character moments all around from the villains and the hero side. Also, I gotta talk about the Jace Birder tag team against Goku is really fun and one of the most underrated fights in Dragon Ball. People need to give attention to this fight. It's really fun. There's a lot of cool moves. I love that Goku is just completely embarrassing these people. Again, I love it when Goku embarrasses his opponents in way more creative ways. I'm not too big of a fan when Goku just shows up to just like punch an opponent once and then just completely ends the fight. I mean, it works well in the Raccoon fight because they add that funny scene of him punching him before Raccoon is able to finish his attack name. It's just stuff like that that I much prefer when Toriyama is a lot more creative, when he reuses ideas that he's used in the past. Like the whole Goku one-shots an opponent can be a bit overplayed, especially since he's done it multiple times throughout the series. I much prefer this where he finds creative ways of like embarrassing his opponents. I much prefer that, and that's why I love this fight. And also, Jace and Birder are some of my favorite characters out of the Ginyu Force because I love their friendship throughout it. You can genuinely tell that they're actual friends arguing over how to defeat Goku. And I put this comment on a Pooh Head 1 video that I think y'all should check out, where I said that they're a great like friendship that someone should make a gay yaoi of them, and I much agree. Someone please make a gay yaoi of Jace and Birder, please. I love these characters. And what else could I say about the Ginyu Force? They're funny, their fights are great, it's a great tonal shift from the very serious and strategic fights and storylines we have gone from the Frieza saga up to that point. It's just a great, refreshing moment out of the Frieza saga, and easily one of my favorite middle portions out of any arcs. Because there's some arcs that I really love that have some weak middle portions in it, while in the Frieza saga, I do have some conflicting opinions of the arc in general. I love the middle portion of it because of the Ginyu Force, because they're great characters, great fights, and it's just overall refreshing and easily one of the best written jokes that Toriyama's ever done. And I feel like if you didn't think that the first time when you read or watched it, I highly suggest you give it a chance. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. What did you think of it? What do you think about the Ginyu Force? Do you love him? Do you hate him? And yeah, that'll do it for this Dragon Ball video. Make sure to subscribe for more Dragon Ball, JoJo, and just whatever content. And yeah, hopefully you had a wonderful day. Hope you had a wonderful time with this video. And yeah, see ya.